first card you have for your past is the Hermit. So yes, this card can be about, spiritual enlightenment. It can be about getting time out for yourself, or following your own path, or things like not following your own path, I'm trying to say. But yes, it can be about all sorts of different things. But I'm seeing a lot of kind of mixed things in this card, actually. Yes, I'm seeing you were by yourself. You were by yourself for a while, on your own for a lot of this time. Maybe you were distracting yourself. Maybe you're distracting yourself in a way. And I'm seeing decisions as well. I'm seeing a lot of important decisions that you knew you had to make. These were very, very big decisions, actually. But you were kind of distracting yourself in a way. You were by yourself, and you had times where you tried to focus on these issues or these decisions. But then after a while, you'd become kind of overwhelmed. And then you went back to kind of distracting yourself again. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of going backwards and forwards. So this was obviously a very, very difficult thing for you to decide, or to even think about. It really stressed you out. So, if this resonates and you're still going through this, through these things, in the times when you feel ready to focus, use that time to do as many things as you need to do around these decisions. Practical things, write lists, do whatever you can, make phone calls, go out and do what you need to do, and make the most of that time. And then switch off when you need to, and go back to your distracting or your kind of resting or whatever else it is when it becomes overwhelming. Don't spend the time with all your energy running around stressing. Spend it doing things very practically, trying to get a clear head, because you can only spend so much mental energy on this, because I can see these are great, big, enormous decisions, and it really stresses you, and then you just become exhausted. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm also seeing that some of these decisions, they might not have a real deadline attached to them. They probably have deadlines that you're attaching to them. That's what I'm seeing. Even though, yes, they need to be done, but there's no actual, this has to be done by this time, or, it's not like I need to pay my electricity bill by this date or it be cut off. It's not that urgent. Yes, these are things that have to be done. These are decisions that have to be made, yes, and they are very stressful for you. But there's no what I'm seeing is there's no actual big deadline. You're making the deadlines in your head. Now, I'm not saying, just do it whenever. What I'm saying is don't attach so much stress to trying to get things done on a certain time. Take as much time as you need, but when you have that time and you have that energy and you're ready to go, use that time practically as you can. I'm also seeing these decisions being mixed up between kind of the practical and the emotional. So you have a lot of emotions around this as well, and that might be what's making it kind of blurry for you and difficult for you. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that you will eventually find your way, and you'll find your way at the right time. You'll find where you need to go, what you need to do at exactly the right time, because that's what the Hermit's doing. He's finding his way, he's following his lamp, he has this beautiful star in his lamp, and he'll get there. He's very wise. You're a lot wiser than you think. You will get there. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have for your past is the Knight of Cups. I'm actually seeing, yes, this can often be a very romantic card, a dreamy card, a kind of a, knight in shining armour, Disney, too good to be true sometimes. Sometimes it isn't, sometimes it is true. But I'm actually seeing a friendship in this card. I'm seeing a friend who you might have drifted apart from in the past, and now I'm seeing at this time you're being a lot closer to this person, or you're getting a lot closer to this person. And I'm seeing you talking on a much deeper level than you have been for a long, long time. So you are still going through a lot at this time, and you probably still are. I mean, it's probably still happening now, but this was really stressing you. All these decisions and everything was stressing you at this time. And you were feeling a little bit better about at least having this person around you. You were able to speak to them about these problems. I'm also seeing you talking about a lot of other things as well. And this person was opening up to you too. I'm actually seeing you feeling a little bit surprised by how much they were opening up to you. because I think one of the problems you had in the past was they weren't opening up to you about some things, and you kind of had some questions around that. You might have felt as if maybe they weren't being honest. Now, I'm not saying they were. I'm saying this is an honest person, but you kind of were suspecting things about them. And I think this is probably your kind of background that you've had, where you haven't trusted a lot of people, and that kind of makes you mistrust or kind of not quite trust people that you even should be trusting. You find it hard to kind of know who you can and who you can't trust. But I think this is a person who you can trust, and you have had some ups and downs with this person I'm seeing. You've probably fallen out, because I'm seeing that they've come in and out of your life, maybe even more than once. And I think this person's been in a few of your readings, actually. So they've been around you a lot, and that's a good thing. I am seeing that's a good thing. So yeah, hold on to this person. I'm seeing they're a very good person to have around you, both on an emotional level and on a practical level, and you help each other. I'm seeing that. So the last card you have for your past is the Eight of Swords. So yes, this is about these decisions again, obviously. This is about feeling stuck, struggling, and not knowing what to do. It's like you made one big decision initially, and then there were some other decisions that were equally as big that came from that you had to make. So you had one decision behind you that you made that made you move forward, and now you have more to make. And you need to move forward into those, but you're a little bit stuck. You're more than a little bit. You're kind of stuck, and you're not sure kind of what to do. I'm also seeing you trying to break away from some kind of an old lifestyle that you've had, an old way of doing things, an old way of thinking maybe. This is something that wasn't healthy for you. Now, I'm seeing there were temptations around you at this time, a lot of temptations, but you're determined not to go back into these temptations, which is really, really good. It's amazing that actually you weren't tempted by all these old things, because you had a lot of stress going on, and that's when temptation is at its highest. I'm not saying you're an addict, but I'm using this as an example. If someone's an addict, if they're addicted to whatever it is, could be drinking, could be shopping, could be drugs, could be anything. I'm not saying you're an addict again, don't be angry. But if anyone has any of these problems and they go through this time of being very stressed, that's kind of a difficult time for them. That's when they can easily go back into these temptations. So whatever happened in your past that you were doing, it wasn't healthy for you. It might have even been a way of thinking. It might have been anything that you could have been doing. And you moved on from that, and you weren't falling into these temptations. So all I can say about that is congratulations. That's amazing. So the first card you have for your present is the Eight of Pentacles. So yes, hard work. Here we are. You're working really, really hard. And you always do work very hard. I'm seeing you could be struggling to concentrate on your work, maybe on your day-to-day work, because you have all of these issues and these decisions to make, and it might be impacting on your work. And that's something you hate, because you really are very serious about your work. You're very you're kind of almost a perfectionist about your work. So you want to make sure you do very well. But I'm seeing that your work might be falling down a bit at this time. You might not be concentrating as well as you usually are because of all of this stress around this. But you love your work. You don't want to stop doing your work. It might be the only stable routine-based thing that's around you right now. This is what's keeping you going, this routine. It's helping you to get you through this. So I'm seeing that, it's a routine, but it's also a bit of a distraction from these problems as well. So at some of the time you can't concentrate very well, but at other times you're kind of using your work as a distraction. So it goes backwards and forwards again, I'm seeing. So you might have to even, you might have to take some time out from your work for a while to kind of get these other things sorted out, so that your emotions around these things aren't impacting on your work. Because these problems are affecting everything. And I'm seeing a big blurring between emotions and work and everything else and these decisions. And it's all like a great big jumble. And this really, really does not feel good. Obviously, it feels bad. It's not a disaster. It's not like, oh, you're going to lose your job tomorrow, or, oh, everything's going to fall apart, or it's going to be... It's not like that. What I'm seeing is it's not as high a standard as you'd like. Now, to everyone else, that high standard might be somewhere a lot lower than your standard is. I'm not because I'm Aries, people say, oh, I'm kind of showing off and I think I have higher standards than everyone else because I'm Aries. I'm not saying it for that reason. I am seeing that you have very high standards, and it might feel like a disaster for you to may have those standards be lower than they actually should be, as far as your thinking is. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. Sorry, headphone wearing people. But yes, you might have to take some time out to solve these other problems and then come back to your work. Excuse me, I'm really sorry. Because I'm not getting a disastrous feeling around this, but I am getting a stressful feeling around this, obviously. So the next card you have for your present is the King of Pentacles. So you might actually, again, you might have to take this time out. I'm seeing that again. Take some time out from your work. Yeah, I'm seeing that you might have this fear of actually taking time out from your work. You might be thinking, oh, if I take time out, I'll lose money, and I won't have that, and I won't have this, and if I stop, I won't be able to do that. You can take some time out. You won't lose out. All you need to do is plan properly. So it might be that you plan to take some time out in a month or 2 months or something like that. And what you can do in that time is you can save some money, put some money aside, lessen your spending in other areas, be a bit tight for a while, and then you have some money aside at that time, so it's not so bad for you and you're not as stressed. When you're taking that time out, it might be something like that. There are all sorts of things you can do so you won't lose out. But you always have this stress of, oh, I know I need to take time out. I know I have to deal with these problems. But if I do that, I'm afraid I'm going to be losing money, because this King's all about money and all of that thing. Now, I'm not saying that you're like, oh, I need money and you're greedy. It's not like that. It's just that you might be a little bit afraid to take that time out. And don't be like this King. He's bound down by his money. He's bound down by these heavy robes. He has money. He has everything. But he can't move. Don't be like that. Don't think, oh, if I take some time out, I can't because I'm going to lose money. That means you're bound down by money. Obviously, we all need money, but there are ways around this. There are ways that can free up your time for you. That's what I'm seeing. And you do need to make these decisions. You do need to do these things. These aren't easy decisions, obviously. But, this is about freedom. The King of Pentacles does not have a lot of freedom. If you take some time out, you make these decisions, it's all done, it's all finished. Imagine how much freer you'll feel. And also don't think about, because the other thing I'm seeing with this is, you might be thinking that, oh, if I make this decision, it's great, and if I make this one, it's terrible, it's going to be a big disaster. And you often have this kind of all or nothing decision-making feeling around these decisions, if that makes sense. It's like, this person's fantastic, this person's terrible. This decision's great, this decision's horrible. It's not like that. There are lots of degrees in between that. And also you can make a decision and make a decision that will last for a few months. And you can say, okay, I'll make this decision. I'll try this. If it doesn't work, I can change it. If it does work, I'll stay in it. So there are lots of degrees in between these extremes. And you do, as an Aries, I know that you do have this extreme thinking like that. So sometimes you need to kind of get out of that extreme thinking, and that will free you up as well. So the last card you have for your present is the Nine of Wands. So Yes, I'm seeing this is about someone. This is about someone coming out of their shell. This isn't you. This is someone who might have been romantically interested in you for a long, long time, and they still are at this time. And I'm seeing that they might be a shy person. They're a bit afraid, a bit worried, or there's some reason why they've been in their shell and they haven't said anything to you. There's a lot of anxiousness around this person. Look at how anxious this man is in this card. I'm seeing they really want to come out and speak to you. Maybe, they've been secretly wanting to do this for a long, long time. And I'm seeing this person might already be talking to you, just on a kind of a basic level. They might be working with you. They might talk to you in other areas of your life. I don't know where, but they might just be chatting. Hey, how are you? How are you doing? Whatever. They might see you every day. You might go to a shop every day and see them, or you might go somewhere every day and see them, or I don't know. But they really want to come out and talk to you. They've been wanting to do this for a long, long time. And yes, you might know who this is. I'm seeing that again. They're ready. They're nervous. I'm seeing that. But they're ready. They're ready to speak to you. They're ready. They're going to come and do this. The first card you have for your future is the Ten of Swords. Yes, nobody likes this horrible card. I said once before, nobody likes this card. Unless you're a murderer, you might like this card. And people laughed. So, yes, you're not a murderer and you're not going to be murdered. So please don't worry about this card. Be careful, definitely, but don't stress around this card. I'm always being accused of making people feel paranoid and stressed in these readings. I don't mean to. I just want to point out things when I see them. And I think I actually have a duty to point out things to you when I see them. I don't think I'd be doing these readings properly if I saw something coming to you that wasn't good and I didn't say anything. That would not be good. So anyway, yes, what I'm seeing is I am actually seeing some backstabbing in this card. Obviously not literally, you're not going to be killed, but, backstabbing. This could be around work. I'm seeing a little bit of confusion around this because I am seeing it's a bit strange. There's something work-related, but also this could be work, but also something outside of your work or someone outside of your work. It's very confusing. It's about someone outside of your work being around your work, or maybe trying to influence other people around your work or something like that. It's very confusing. I hope this is going to make some kind of sense. It might be someone that used to work with you that's now kind of causing some problems, or it might be someone somewhere that you worked or somewhere that you do work. It might be someone coming from somewhere that you used to know outside of your work now, causing problems for you at work now, or gossiping about you or talking about you. I hope this is going to make sense. I'm confused myself. So someone might be actually watching what you're doing at work, or watching you come to and from work or something like that, talking about you maybe to other people. This could be around colleagues, talking to ex-colleagues or something like that. There's a mixture of people outside of the workplace talking or gossiping, and people inside the workplace talking or gossiping. Not lots and lots of people. There might just be one or two people. And it's something about your reputation. Someone's spreading something, or they're going to be spreading something about your reputation. Again, I don't want to make anyone feel paranoid. And again, I don't think it's going to affect your reputation at all. I think, people know you, they know who you are, they know that you have a solid reputation, they know that you're not about whatever it is they're pulling, or they're pulling what they're talking about. So I don't think your reputation is going to be spoiled by any of this. I think you should, just rise above it, block them if you can, and maybe even come out and talk about this. It might help to do that. Sometimes it's not good to add fuel to this kind of gossip, but sometimes it's needed. Sometimes you do need to come out and say, hey, everybody, this is happening. I want to tell my friends, this person is saying this. I just want you to know that that's not true. This is true. You might have to tell your family members, you might have to tell people you work with that this person is saying these things and it isn't true. Just come clean, just be honest and say that. And then what I do after I've done that would be I would just block the person and say no more about it. Yeah, I know that's quite specific. That's what I'm seeing. That just all came out into my head. I had to say that to you. But it's, don't worry. They're not going to ruin you. They're not going to ruin your reputation. You're a lot stronger than them. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have for your future is the King of Wands. So yes, this is when you could be taking a lot of action on these decisions, and I'm really glad you are. This is a lot more like you. This is the real you. This is the true you, taking action. So I'm actually seeing you maybe jumping ahead, making phone calls, rushing around, going out, being out a lot more, out and about, getting these things done. And, you know, I think maybe it could have taken you a long time to make up your mind about things, because I think what I'm seeing is you might have been knocked down quite a lot throughout your life. And that might have made you kind of think, oh, if I make this decision, it's going to be silly or wrong. Because I think a lot of people have called you silly and wrong and all sorts of bad things. You're none of those things. Take no notice of them. I'm saying all this because I'm seeing this lizard in this card, this salamander that's on the bottom right-hand corner of this card. I'll just move that so you can see. It's very small. And when I think of lizards, they have, their tail grows. So the tail gets chopped off, or an animal might hurt them and their tail comes off, and, or, you know, they get into trouble and the tail comes off or they're hurt. But they grow a new tail back. And you always grow a new tail back. You're knocked down, but you always bounce back better than ever. You always do. And that's what you're going to do. Now you're bouncing back, you're jumping up, you're doing what you need to do, you're rushing forward, you're making these decisions, and it's like the old you. This is like the fool in you. This is like the magician. You're going to just go forward and do things. Every time you've done this in the past without stress, every time you've just said, right, I'm just going to do this, that's when you've been the most successful. Every time you've been overthinking, over worrying, stressing, oh, will I do this or that? That's when you've been your least successful. That's what I'm seeing in this card. This is the you coming back. This is you taking action. The last card you have for your future is the Six of Pentacles. So I'm seeing this person who, in the Nine of Wands, this person who's coming forward to talk to you. I can see now why they might be a bit hesitant to do that. They're probably coming out of a very difficult situation. They might even be coming out of a controlling relationship or something quite serious like that. It's not you that they're afraid of, even though you're Aries, you're a bit scary. But it's not you that they're afraid of. They'd probably be afraid of any situation they went into, any relationship. They would probably be very, very afraid, very worried, very nervous, very anxious. So whether you want to be with this person or not, whatever you think, whether you want to be with them, whether you don't, whether you just want to be their friend, whatever you think of this person, be very gentle around this person. Now, if you want to be with them, treat them very gently and sensitively. It's going to take them some time to really warm up, to be ready for a relationship. If you don't want to be with them, obviously be very gentle, be very kind to them, and whatever else, because I can see they've been through a lot, and they don't, I think any more things at this point might really crush them. So just be very, very careful. Be very careful around this person.